steps into a new South Africa.
It was a day nearly 30 years in the making. For millions of people here and abroad, it would be the first time seeing a man whose very image was banned by the apartheid government. The reception committee had a tough task of finalizing logistics with little time and limited resources.
There were business people that were gathered at the airport. We decided to go to those business people. And when we got there, comrades just went to them and said, give your keys, give us your keys. And without any shred of reluctance, they just gave the keys. And we took the cars. Next step, let's go to Victor Verster. We don't know what happened to them as we left them at the airport. We just drove to Victor Verster. And unfortunately, I picked the key only to check it was a Cressida of Mr. Dawood Khan. That was fine. It was a better car at the time. So we drove to Victor Verster. That's how this organization of cars and comrades happened. Impromptu kind of an organization.
The human barriers.
Concerns over Madiba's safety once he left the prison gates ran high, especially in the light of threats from right-wing organizations.
Now the man is out, anything can happen to this man. Remember, we were bodyguards, but we were not armed. And we were worried from Victor Verster. As we were walking out of prison, the plan was we'll stop at the gate and then Mandela will walk out of prison. But the crowd at Victor Verster was something different. And our nerves started to shake, in fact, because we don't know what was going to happen in that crowd. And we were not even sure whether there's anyone with a firearm or not to protect us now.
But threat or no threat, Madiba could not be stopped from getting out of the vehicle to greet some people along the way.
Whilst Madiba was enjoying the scenery, he also marveled at seeing people lining even that route. There were white Boere, and he stopped us to go and pick up that little one. And we were worried. This man is delaying us, and we might be in trouble.
The moment was a defining one for some on Madiba's security detail.
At the time, you remember the white farmers were very conservative, and in fact, they were mostly viewed as enemies. And then you then wonder, why is he doing this thing? But he was there talking to them. We immediately saw the beginning of what is called reconciliation. So that to me was a beginning, because also not because of him picking up that child, but because the farmers were lining the road and welcoming him.
Getting Madiba into the city hall proved a challenge due to the large crowd which had gathered. A few hours and a detour later, South Africa's future president would speak as a free man.
Amandla Africa.
You know, this was the man that people were not even allowed to talk about. This was the man that every soul wanted to see. This was the man who was known by the people to have stayed in prison for such a long time. So everybody was keen to hear him speak, to see him, and to listen to the directive that he was going to give. So it was not surprising that people endured the heat until late that day. waiting for the men to come and address them.
Some Cape Townians remember that day, 30 years ago, as if it were yesterday.
The day when Mandela was released from prison, I was feeling happy for him, and it was a very big relief for me.
The day when I heard he was released, I feel that our oppression will be down, and I was feeling very, very, very good about it.
The mere fact that Madiba was there and he was a freedom fighter and standing up for what he believed in, and putting the country and the people first before himself. That was amazing to experience at that time.
30 years later, Tata Nelson Mandela's name remains synonymous with committed freedom fighter, selfless leader, admired statesman and unifier of a nation. Vanessa Puna, SABC News, Cape Town.
Free man takes first steps into a new South Africa.